The story of Skinny Pete. Peter, commonly referred to as Skinny Pete, is one of Jesse Pinkman's longtime friends. Welcome to Relator Butterfly, the channel where we cover the lives of all your favorite fictional characters. So if you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and ring the bell to get notified about our newest videos. Breaking Bad. Skinny Pete served time in the Los Lunas State Prison with Tuco Salamanca and later introduced Jesse to the drug dealer. He brings Jesse to the hospital after Tuco beats him and tells Walter White about Tuco. After Hank Schrader kills Tuco in a shootout, Walter White and Jesse begin distributing meth on their own. Jesse, in charge of the street operation, enlists Skinny Pete and two other friends, Combo and Badger, as dealers. A couple of junkies steal meth from Skinny, but his reputation stays intact thanks to a rumor that Jesse retaliated by crushing one junkie's head with an ATM. The operation goes well until Badger gets busted and Combo is murdered for invading a rival gang's turf. Afraid of being murdered or sent back to prison as he is under probation, Skinny quits dealing and informs Jesse that he's lost his street cred because everyone found out that Jesse didn't kill the junkie after all. After the RV's battery dies during Walt and Jesse's 4-day cook session, Jesse tries to call Skinny Pete to pick them up, but he gave Pete the wrong directions, and eventually the cell phone battery runs out, leaving them stranded again. Skinny agrees to deal again after Jesse starts skimming excess meth from Gustavo Fring's super lab. Pretending to be in recovery, Skinny and Badger attend Jesse's NA meetings and slyly hype the blue meth. However, the two begin following the 12-step program for real and can't bring themselves to undermine addicts attempting to stay clean. To numb himself, after shooting Gail Bodicher, Jesse begins using meth more heavily and tempts Skinny Pete and Badger back into using too. Jesse craves still more distraction, so he throws a multi-day raging party that wears out even his two hardcore friends. Jesse enlists Skinny Pete and Badger to buy 4 giant roadie cases to house his new mobile lab. When they ask Jesse to be included in the new operation, he hesitates, then turns them down. Skinny Pete and Badger later assist Walt by pretending to be the two best hitmen west of the Mississippi in an attempt to scare Gretchen and Elliot Schwartz into making sure Walter White Jr. gets the money. They also inform Walt that Jesse is still cooking meth, unaware of his captivity and torture at the hands of Jack Welker and his gang. After Walt kills Jack and his men and Jesse escapes from Jack Welker's compound, he arrives at Skinny Pete's house. El Camino. Skinny Pete and Badger are playing a video game at Pete's house when a stranger knocks on the front door in the night. Pete discovers that the stranger at the door is Jesse Pinkman, who just escaped from the massacre Walter White initiated at Jack Welker's lab. Pete takes in Jesse and hides the car that Jesse used to escape from Jack Welker's lab, the El Camino that Todd Alquist drove. The next day, Pete gives Jesse a burner phone and Jesse uses it to call old Joe to see about getting rid of the El Camino as Jesse, Pete, and Badger watch the TV news and DEA special agent in charge Ramey announces that Jesse is a suspect and at large. Jesse tells the two that he might have a plan to escape and rips a page out of Pete's phone book. Joe comes out and scans the car, now parked in Skinny Pete's backyard, and discovers that the car's LoJack was just activated, and Joe advises Jesse to disappear because the Albuquerque Police Department and the DEA are locating the car and will be at Skinny Pete's house shortly. Joe drives away without the car, and Skinny Pete devises a plan for Jesse, Badger and him to swap cars, leaving Skinny Pete with the El Camino, hoping that it will buy Jesse some more time and freedom while Badger drives Skinny Pete's Thunderbird near the Mexico border to make the authorities think that Jesse went in that direction. Pete tells Jesse that he intends to claim that Jesse came to him for help and they swapped pink slips as Pete has always wanted an El Camino. Jesse, now in Badger's Pontiac Fiero, drives off wearing Pete's clothes and with the remainder of the money that Pete and Badger have gotten from Walter White for their help in intimidating Gretchen and Elliot Schwartz. Though it doesn't appear in the movie itself, he is interrogated by the DEA in the trailer, which happened after the APD and DEA drove over to Skinny Pete's house, seized Todd's car and arrested Skinny Pete. He's shown inside the DEA's premises, telling his interrogators that he has no idea where Jesse could have gone, and adding that even if he knew he wouldn't tell, as he refuses to help them put Jesse back in captivity. Although it isn't confirmed what happens to Skinny Pete afterwards, it can be assumed he was released sometime later, since he had no information on Jesse's whereabouts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, and ring the bell to get notified about our newest videos.